Challenge reunion, there was a small conversation about like who's the face of the challenge, and like I felt bad for Johnny that like he feels like he hasn't been given his flowers because like I think I personally have been like, yeah, I like Johnny. Johnny is a face of the challenge, like he totally is. And I think what's hard about Johnny is that like he's done some shady things that it's like hard to like love Johnny. Like I like that Johnny's on the show. I would say I miss when Johnny is not there. But to say he's the face of the challenge, but like I do get that. Like I do hear where he's coming from. When I asked my husband who's the face of the challenge, he immediately was like, well, it's Johnny RCT, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I think it's Johnny. And my husband like watches the challenge in background. This is just from like years of my husband like watching the show with me. And like I just think that Johnny, he did so much for the show, right? And he does so much for the show outside of the show, right? And he's been consistently on every season, right? Which then makes you like kind of take him for granted that he's just always going to be there. But I think like on the same note, like nobody even mentioned Derek K when they were talking about the face of the challenge. He's sitting right behind Johnny, and I'm like, come on, guys, like Derek. I mean, maybe he was the face of the challenge, but like as an I've watched the season since the beginning. Derek K, I think, has done so much for the challenge, right? Like when, first of all, he was on every season when he was like younger, right? And he was a great TV presence. But even in recent seasons, he's done things like when he beat Joss in War of the Worlds, right? Whenever he beat Joss, came in as a mercenary, that was like, you were like, oh, that's Derek, right? And like, I think that he has that vibe to him, and I feel like Derek's done so much for the show, like honestly more than Johnny has, like in terms of getting the people together. I think he runs some of those. He's got the podcast. Like, I just think Johnny definitely became more of like a famous figure in like the reality TV world, but like it's hard for me like to just watch Derek K in the back not get anything when like Derek K has definitely been a face of the challenge, right? Like 100%. And then like CT, obviously, like I love CT. So like yeah, like CT has the stuff on screen to back it up, right? Winning tons of championships recently, right? I know Johnny's won the most, but like this is like recently when it's become more of a physical show. And the way CT wins those is not always brute strength, right? Like there have been times where he sneaked through and you're like, how could they let CT, like I'm always like, how are you letting CT get through even though I want it? But like, he also just has a great social game and people seem to really like him. And it's hard when you're thinking of who's the face of the challenge to pick someone that like stole money from somebody else. And like, I like Johnny, but like he does like sneaky things that you're like, come on, like that's like, it's good TV, but like it's not like, it just feels weird, right? And same with Jordan. Like, I like Jordan. I think in a lot of ways you could argue Jordan's the face of the challenge. Like he's definitely more like vocal and active. He's won, right? He's won as many as CT, more than CT. But like Jordan, like I just half my brain pictures him yelling at people when I think of Jordan. The other half is like, I love Jordan. He's great. But then half of it is like, he yells at people. He's like kind of nasty, right? And like, I think too, the other thing that this was like so pertinent to me, I did not think of a single woman in my first like processing and analyzing of who's the face of the challenge. And I was like, afterward, I was like, I can't believe you didn't think of any women. Like, I didn't think of any women. And like, I think part of it is that like one of the most winningest women, like I would say, is Laurel. And Laurel has that same kind of like vibe where I'm just like, she's so mean sometimes, right? Like when I think of Laurel, I literally, the first thing that comes to my head is the Big Easy stuff. With Jordan, I think of Tori. So that was really good. But like with Laurel, I'm just like, oh, she was so mean. Like, but I like Laurel. And I also think of when she was in that challenge where she thought she won and she didn't, and she was screaming that she won. I think it was with like Ninja Natalie. And I was like, oh, like I just, that's hard, right? But then I think like Anissa and Nany are right there. Right, Anissa and Nany are raising their hand that Johnny's the face of the challenge. And I'm like, dude, Anissa, she's been on the show forever. I watched her Real World season. Like, Anissa is a badass. She has a great social game. She wins eliminations. She like, she's a presence all the time. Right. And she does stuff outside the show. She does the challenge podcast. Like, I feel like Anissa is the face of the challenge also. It's just hard because she hasn't won those championships. Right. And same with Nany. And I feel like that's why I feel so bad for Nany is like, I feel like if Nany won the championship, all of a sudden the conversation would be shifted where like now people would believe in Nany. But like right now, she's just more fun for like her social presence and her game. And I know that she's worked hard and I know she says she can win and has the endurance, but it just hasn't been shown yet. But like, I think that time could be there. It's just hard to say I think someone's the face of the challenge when they haven't won a bunch of championships, right? Like you're more like tempted to be like, well, like Evelyn was the face of the challenge at one point, but it's like she hasn't been on the show forever and she doesn't want to come back on the show. And like, so it's really just a lot of conversations about the face of the challenge. And I think like, I can see why Johnny doesn't want to share that heading, but I think when you really analyze it, it's the show's been on for so long and there's so many facets to the show. It's really hard to pick one person